Thanks for tuning in to the Old Dirty Basement. On this week's episode, we're covering two stories: the albinos of Ghost Mountain and the ghost of Fort Mifflin.
Albinos and ghosts and cannonballs. Oh my.
Like what you did there.
Yeah.
I was going towards that avenue. Yeah, got some albino ghosts jumping off trees and Fort Mifflin. A lot of history there. A lot of ghosts, a lot of scariness.
We really did go out of the basement on this one. We went all the way to Philadelphia.
Yeah, definitely. These are two cool stories out of that weird Pennsylvania book back here in strange Pennsylvania. Like, we've been covering all these stories. We hope you're enjoying that. Speaking of which, if you are, leave us that 5-star rating on Spotify, Apple. You can leave us a written review with that 5-star rating. And sit back, relax, and enjoy Albinos of Ghost Mountain and Ghost of Fort Mifflin.
This is the Old Dirty Basement, home to debauchery, madness, murder, and mayhem. A terror-filled train ride deep into the depths of the devil's den.
With a little bit of humor.
History.
And copious consciousness.
I'm your announcer, Shallow Throat. Your hosts are Dave, Matt, and Zap. I love you, Matthew McConaughey. All right.
Hey, this is Dave.
Matt.
And Zap.
And welcome to the Old Dirty Basement.
Where every week we cover a true crime,
Murder.
Or compelling story.
so sit back.
Relax.
And comprehend.
Hello. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, and welcome to the Old Dirty Basement. Just trying to keep it out there for you guys, whatever time you're listening.
I love it. Every time I hear that anymore going forward, I think of The Truman Show. That's fantastic.
We really never talked about that.
And if I don't see you later, well, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Good night.
That's right, Truman Show with Jim Carrey. We're actually real late recording tonight.
Yeah,
So this might be a little different.
Yeah, this is a late night. Go get it. We have our coffee, though.
That's right.
Dave makes an excellent cook.
And not for nothing, I am loving any day since late June as the days get shorter and the nights get longer.
Then moonshine or sunshine. What's that lyric? The days are longer, the nights are stronger than moonshine.
It's America. That's right.
Yeah. Getting close to that fall season, that spooky season, all that good stuff.
Sweater weather.
That's right.
Yeah.
Kind of goes well with what we're working with lately. So we're doing strange Pennsylvania, weird stories, folklore, all that good stuff. So
yeah, we got plenty of funky stuff here in our own Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, there's a lot here that we have to offer for the strangeness. It's just not walking down the mall in like the 80s.
right.
I thought that was a little strange, but 90s cooler. Here we are, 2013.
I was surprised to find
2023. What did I say, 2013? I'm like,
I know, right? Dude,
Wow.
Listen, we've talked about this before. I swear to you, I'm going to be the guy that's going to tell you that the 90s were just 10 years ago.
Yeah, and I do that too.
All the time. But yeah, dude, we got so much oddity and interesting stuff here in Pennsylvania. I love covering this stuff. And I guess tonight we're going to start with covering the albinos of Ghost Mountain.
Yeah, let's dive into these cats.
Yeah, I never heard of this one.
Me neither. This was very, I don't know. It's very, I guess, very odd Pennsylvania. Very strange.
But who comes up with this stuff?
These people.
I guess. Yeah. Is it the albinos or is it the survivors?
We don't know.
I don't know.
I guess we don't know. Well, anyway, let's dive into this John. And speaking of John, so this is out in Bucks County, Pennsylvania.
That's a Philly thing.
It is. Holding the title of the highest summit in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, Haycock Mountain, known locally as Ghost Mountain, sits within Nakamixon State Park. Make your way to Route 611 in Bucksco and travel north if coming from the Turnpike, or travel south if coming from Route 78 near Easton. Nearing Nakamixon State Park, find your way to Mountain View Drive, also known as State Route 563. From there, find your way to Top Rock Trail and hike if you dare. While a popular destination for hikers, climbers, hunters, and outdoor enthusiasts, this mountain also maintains an eerie and long-standing legend. A legend of albino cannibals who, to this day, are said to reside in an all-concrete house hidden in plain sight at the top of the mountain.
Wow. Yeah, Bucks County. So that's down near Philly, right? Like Philly area.
A little outside, about 20, 30. Nockamixon's, that's probably about 45 minutes outside of Philly.
Yeah, so Bucksco, I think, is going to be northeast of Philly, but not northeast Philly.
And yeah, there's Philly proper, then there's Bucks County.
Correct. So you got Bucksco, you got Montco, Montgomery County.
Right.
You got Delco, Delaware County.
Yep.
Hell, you even have Philco, Philadelphia County. So they all do one syllable co combined.
A lot of counties, little space, a lot of counties.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was looking here, a couple of fun facts on Bucks County. 4th most populous county in Pennsylvania. So that's as of the 2017 census.
Good for you, Bucks.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
so
Like all
who's
those Philly people there?
so Philly would be number 1, Allegheny's number 2. Number 3 might be
Perry.
Lehigh,
That's where I
just
thought
because
this-
of
I thought-
Allentown.
I thought this story took place in Perry County. I was reading.
I think, well,
with the albino people.
I think this story could be anywhere.
Yes.
I'm sure this is
Could
like one of these that, like, you know, no matter where you're at, you got a story similar or something like that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've been to Nockamixon State Park quite a few times. It's a nice little place.
Naga.
Nockamixon.
Mm.
Yeah. It says whether Mountain View Drive. I grew up on a Riverview Drive, but it wasn't a good view. I just saw TMI.
That's right.
From the top of my.
I was
My
thinking
streets.
about that. As in our podcast, you know, as we have talked a number of times about, you know, where we came up, and
Right.
so yeah, Matt, I totally know Riverview Drive, but I didn't see one stitch of river from that drive.
No, you don't. You just see TMI. I mean, TMI's on an island on the river.
Mm.
And I think if you think really hard about it, it's like a river view. But
If you think really hard about it, if you close your eyes and can't
Yeah.
see anything, you'll see the river.
it's beautiful there.
So you could not see the river from your house.
No, you
Or
seen
from
like
that-
the top of the TMI towers.
Okay.
If you look straight across. I mean, you could see, maybe not. No, there was no river there.
No. Okay.
A river runs through it.
Brad Pitt was in that.
Good movie.
It's entirely possible. So of all these things, right? So you're going to have urban legends, all that stuff. Why albino cannibals? Now, I looked into this a bit, and it's said there that these would-be albinos are albino because of living in the mountains for generations, just forever hiding themselves from sunlight.
And they were inbred also. So I think the albinos inbred the albino, inbred the albino.
Right,
So
it's
it's
like
keeping
genetic.
it's keeping that chromosome, in the family, I guess.
Yeah.
And I guess the cannibals keep them, wonky too.
Mm-hmm.
I just think of these guys. I think of this clan or cluster of people. I think of the Morlocks from The Time Machine. So the movie The Time Machine.
Okay.
Anybody? Show of hands.
No, I don't remember that one.
So the original, I think, came out in 1960 something,
Mm-hmm.
60, maybe even just 60. And anyway, great story. H.G. Wells. The dude travels hundreds of thousands of years into the future, where what was the human race is now underground, and they actually farm other caste of the human race above ground.
Were they Mandalorians?
No,
Okay.
that close.
All right.
They didn't wear helmets.
Cool. That's cool.
That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, these guys are completely forever avoiding sunlight.
So that makes sense. They'd be pale like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. No pigmentation like scares people.
Yeah.
Like
There's a
nothing
thing-
against people with like really pale skin, but it's kind of scary.
So, dude, I'm sorry, I gotta tell the story. So, I was in a meeting at one point, and an associate at one of my former employers, he is an albino, and so we're all sitting in this room. There's like 5 or 6 of us sitting in the room, and somebody started saying something that they just wouldn't stop talking or whatever. And then finally, I said, "Look, would you please stop with that? You're scaring Chris."
making them white.
Yeah, that's correct. Like,
Did
why
somebody,
does
did somebody
as a
like
ghost.
did somebody grab a curtain, like try to open it? The sunlight hit him.
He's like a vampire.
Daywalker?
Yeah.
I wonder if like they were just trying to film Powder, and then like these people
That's
just
right.
showed up.
Dude, I loved that movie.
That was a
Great
cool
movie.
movie.
I love that movie.
And speaking of that, like I always thought with albinos, they had like red eyes. You ever hear that? They say their eyes are
There's
red.
a pinkness.
A pinkness to their
It's
eye.
the lack of pigmentation, so
Right.
they don't have any like brownish or
That's what it is.
Whatever, yeah.
And that's the way they describe these people in the hills, that they have like these red eyes and all that. But it, like you said, it's to do with the lack of pigmentation. They're actually like blue or like hazel or like a lighter color.
Yeah.
But when the sun hits it, I guess, or whenever light hits it, it looks red.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like the camera effect.
Right.
When you
Like-
flash a picture, like we've all had red eye
Right.
in an old photo or some shit?
Yes.
I wonder if it's that.
I'm sure that's like very similar.
Because this one albino dude I know, he does not have, pink eyes. They are that light blue you speak to.
Right.
Hazel.
Does he eat children?
No, but interestingly enough, so it's as we're talking about these as I was talking about these Morlocks or the cause for these albinos to never be seen during the day. So allegedly, as this urban legend goes relative to these albino cannibals, one shouldn't hike or drive near this mountain at night. The cannibalistic albinos are said to hide in the trees once the sun goes down, anxiously awaiting any passing prey below.
At night they do that.
At night. So
Okay,
you are
that makes
not going to
sense
see
then.
these dudes in the daytime.
See, I read something on this. They said about the nighttime thing. I guess it started in like the 1920s, but they're saying the nighttime thing, don't walk at night, because I think on these trails, if you go off the trail, they're like, there's rocks everywhere. And it made it like a non-safe place to walk. So you get like, back in like the 20s, 30s, like if you broke your ankle, your leg, your arm, you can't work. And
You're
if you
done.
can't work, you kind of just sit there. They're not going to like heal you, and you're not good for, coal mining or whatever else you got to do.
That's right.
So I think this was like kind of started to keep kids or young people away from
Going off
walking
the
the
trail or
trails
doing
at
something.
night and getting hurt.
Don't ruin your livelihood here, kid.
Yeah. You're going to have to go to work when you're like 8 or 9.
Hell yeah.
You're going to have a family by 11.
Either that or just for the excitement of a story like that. Like, take something and embellish and make it even more, just add to it and make it even more like fascinating, And,
Or maybe it was like concerned parents, like, hey man, look, we're near rocky ground, because this place is at the time was like surrounded by farms and shit.
right.
It's so maybe they they don't want their kids running around. Like,
Yeah, they
look,
want them up Haycock Mountain,
yeah, man,
causing trouble,
yeah.
chewing tobacco.
Yeah, right. Tobacco. Did you read anything about, like, I know you said about a concrete house with no windows, but there was an article I read that also said that it was described as a glass house.
Yeah.
Did you hear anything about or read anything about that too?
I did see that same thing, and I think that might have a lot to do with the makeup of these boulders that are all over this mountain.
Mm-hmm.
So now understand that if we didn't say this already, this mountain. So let's just say, like, I've hiked a bit in Pennsylvania, and like on the Appalachian Trail, those from other states call Pennsylvania Rocksylvania.
Right.
Because those Appalachian mountains suck ass. Like, they are the worst for rocks.
Not because we have good bands.
Not at all.
Yeah.
In this case, on this particular mountain,
Brett Michaels.
Is that about it?
that's about it. All we had was Poison. Oh no, we had Cinderella came out of Philly.
Did they come out of Philly?
Cinderella's out of Philly.
That was a great first album.
Dude, I got to send you a YouTube commercial back when Cinderella was just up and coming. Like, you're going to do anything for money, right? So they did this commercial for Pat's Dogs. It's a hot dog. It was a hot dog shop,
Right.
Just a hot dog stand in Philly. So they wrote a song and sang it for the commercial.
That's
like
great.
Pat's Dogs, Pat's Chili Dogs. Dude, awesome.
It's a good song.
What else did Pennsylvania? We had Live.
Yeah.
Came out of
Oh,
York.
yes, live.
Fuel.
Fuel. That's correct.
Yeah. Trying to think any other rock bands from PA.
The dude that does like the mixing in Incubus, he's from Mechanicsburg.
Oh, for real?
Not Brett Michaels.
Not Brett Michaels. They did say at the Hollywood, that was the most sold out show they had at Hollywood, was the Brett Michaels show. That was just a couple weekends ago.
That's ridiculous.
Because he's local, yeah.
Yeah.
Local
the
fan.
ladies love him.
So Rocksylvania.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So this is what we do. We digress.
Yeah, we go off. That's all right.
So these boulders are volcanic in nature, or they were put there. They're hundreds of thousands of years. They've been, as the tectonics move and all of that shit. So they were formed and rounded in such a way and honed that many of them are like, there is a smoothness to many of them, almost like a river stone.
Well, they were all
versus a
underwater,
rocky rock.
all underwater at one point.
There you
And
go.
Yes,
Yeah, that
that's
makes
why
sense.
they're rounded out, and
like smooth curves.
again, a river runs through it.
Yeah.
I mentioned that earlier.
So, and in fact, I got to believe that one of these things, that this particular house where these albinos might be living, is in fact that. Like, it's just mistaken for, because again, these boulders are like the size of houses, and they get bigger. Amazingly enough, they get bigger the higher you go up,
That's wild.
versus like big at the bottom and then smaller at the top. No, it is the reverse. So, in fact, there is one particular rock that's up there, like almost at the top. It's said to be the size. Some have compared it to the size of a skating rink.
Holy shit, that's big.
That is large. It's a large rock.
What's even bigger is that when you look at it, it's actually suspended on top of like 20-foot high pillars, rocks, but in the shape of pillars. Like, I'm not talking like ancient alien shit.
Like Stonehenge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. Like a really tight-knit Stonehenge.
Yeah.
I wonder what the street value of that rock is.
I know, right? There's a crack rock.
What you were saying, Zap, about the concrete and what Davis, the concrete house. There was a place in Nanticoke, PA, which we could also get into on the strange, weird
That
Pennsylvania.
It came up on Centralia. Yeah.
But in Nanticoke, they had the concrete city, and they had, the buildings made of concrete. And I think that was in the 20s that they put in there for the miners. And it was supposed to have it had a pool and all this other stuff. But I guess it wasn't really good in the winter. So it only lasted like a few years. But there was another thing about the concrete homes or concrete houses. Right. I don't know if that might have made its way up to Susquehanna or whatever, or down wherever we're at. But
this is not the concrete city you were talking about, or is that it?
This is the concrete city in Nanticoke, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Wild.
Wild PA.
Wild stuff.
PA, yeah. It's wacky wild.
Well, anyway, early settlers claimed that on a clear day, one could see sailing ships on the Delaware River more than 50 miles away. These are the same early settlers who'd label nearby areas as Devil's Hole, Witch's Head, Lonely Cottage Road, and Gallows Hill Road.
Devil's Hole, come on, this is PG.
That's right.
Devil's Hole.
Yep. Is it no wonder that this mountain has such a long-standing superstition? There exists a legend that one of the old abandoned farmhouses on the mountain holds the ghost of a woman who can be seen knitting through one of the windows. There's also a legend that if one turns their car on and off 3 times, it will not restart the 4th time.
Yeah, that one there, that's one that always comes up. With the car, that was in the Blue-Eyed Six, the first one that we did on the Old Dirty Basement out there. That's locally here in Lebanon County, that they say if you take your car out there in the middle of the night, it won't turn on. Like, that just seems like an urban legend that...
Well, I hear the story, if you turn your car on and off 3 times, you try to start it the 4th time, that sounds like you're beating the shit out of your starter.
Right, you're just
or you flooded the engine already or something.
That could be it too, yeah. I mean, but I've heard that numerous times. That just seems to be like always part of a legend or a story. Like, if you do this, if you go out there, your car won't start.
Right.
But you remember growing up, like they had like the Bloody Mary thing was a thing you say 3 times in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
What was some other 3 times thing? It was like 3 times is always usually the
yeah, Candyman.
But when you're young and impressionable,
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, Beetlejuice. There's a 3 time.
Yeah,
Candyman was 3 times, or is that twice? 3?
3 times.
It's always 3 times.
Yeah.
But those are just how I guess these urban legends and everything get started. Like you're a kid, you're so impressionable. When you're scared like that too, like you say these things, or I don't know, some old lady knitting in the window.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Before the internet, before all this stuff, how do you entertain people with stories and stuff? You just come up with shit. And I mean, I remember as a kid, like, I used to love that stuff, to hear stories like that.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It would scare you to death. But when it's dark out, if you're out camping, I'm not outdoorsy. I know, Zach, you like to hike.
Hell yeah.
And Matt, I think you like it.
Yeah,
right?
I enjoy.
I
hiking,
love hiking, and I love camping.
Like, I'm already scared.
I like the woods. It's a good feeling about it.
Give me the offer between the woods and the beach. I'll take the woods every
All
time.
day.
True.
I'm already scared of snakes and other shit. You know what I mean? When I'm out hiking, and I don't need to be worried about this. But at least this, I'm not going to say I don't believe, because I'll probably get attacked and eaten next time I'm out in the woods. But, I'll just say.
Look, the albinos listen.
They are. We'll get a couple downloads out there in Bucks County.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But I'm more worried about nature shit like that versus like but when you're sitting out there and it's dark and you're hearing stuff, your mind starts wandering,
But I just think they put these things out there to scare kids. Like I'm more afraid today. Like I can't stand like the religious stuff. Like I don't like the demon things.
No,
I don't
like
I don't like the possession shit.
Yep.
Like I stay away from that.
No,
like
I
that's one thing that scares me. I don't know if it's like the upbringing, going through school, Catholic school my whole life, but everything else doesn't really bother me. Like, I think that's kind of cool. Like, I'm into that ghost thing.
I mean, with these albinos, alleged albino cannibals, there are at least stories of some local farmers claiming that their livestock had been taken, like, or they find, like mutilated carcasses or shit like that or whatever. There are, again, also alleged, claims that it's basically, well, I know a guy who knows a guy who knows this guy who nobody saw anymore because nobody ever saw again because he went hiking up in this place, at nighttime.
Disappeared.
Yeah. So that's really kind of, I think, where a lot of this comes from. But who's to say?
Yeah. And I mean, like I said,
I don't live in Bucksco and I don't know shit about Haycock Mountain.
I mean, maybe we'll go out there and get a little footage.
That'd be cool.
That's
Why not?
something we're planning on doing here. Some of these stories will be out already, but if you're listening after you found us on YouTube or something, maybe we'll go out and do a video and come back and revisit this. But I do know, like, if we were sitting around a campfire right now talking about this stuff and I had to go pee out in the woods, I'd love to see my 40 time, like, coming back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't got to go that far. You just turn around.
Yeah, true. Well, I guess I'm out there with guys.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. You just stand up and turn around and sit back down.
But I still, I still would probably be moving. Because even though I don't believe in this shit, there's always that little back of your head, like, well, what if there is something to this,
So look, I mean, so I go hiking and camping, right? And when you're out where I go camping, like you're not getting light pollution.
Yeah.
It's dark. And I mean dark.
Mm-hmm.
So you start hearing stuff, fiddling around at night. You can for damn sure know it's something alive, right? Like it is an animal of sorts.
Something, yeah.
So how big is the animal? And that's the...
Could also be a meth head or a crack addict on the Appalachian trails, which they say to worry about.
I have absolutely come across at least once, and I remember him vividly, this one methed out dude that was just sitting in one of the lean-tos along the trail up on top of Peters Mountain. I mean, this guy was gone. I mean, gone. But
yeah,
whatever.
You got to be afraid of that.
So you were talking about like these other stories, like we were actually all talking about how other stories maybe are similar to this, or you hear these theories. But there was a theory about down in the Great Smoky Mountains, there was a young boy that went missing, and down there they have a story about these feral humans that live out in the woods and cannibalize people and steal the young and do all that. And this happened back in the 60s, and that was kind of the urban legend around that boy disappearing, is that these feral mountain men, wild men that live in the mountains and feed on like humans or hikers or kids, took this kid. And there's people to this day that believe that's true, that there are these mountain people. Did you guys ever see that? I don't know if it's like in West Virginia, there's like a family of inbred people that they
like
did like a documentary on, like Wrong Turn, that
Yes.
movie. Yeah, did you ever see that? It's wild.
Is it like the mom is out on the porch and they have like the brother that's on the porch? I seen that.
And they talk and clicking. Some of them, they don't have like...
He doesn't speak like in English. He talks like to the dogs and stuff, and it's like that. It's very odd.
Look, that wouldn't surprise me at all. If you ever take the time to watch a quasi documentary called "The Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia,"
The Whites of West Virginia,
Johnny Knoxville, I think did
correct.
that. Yeah, I saw that one.
So if you see people that actually live like that, you got to believe that there's some kind of subclass to that.
Even past that, yeah.
That's right.
So yeah, there's stories like this all over the country. Also, talking about cannibals, and sorry, go ahead. I was going to say there's some movies I wrote down here if you're into cannibal stuff. And some of these movies, when I hear stories like this, I can see where they get ideas for movies and stuff. Now, we talked about Wrong Turn, which is more like we were talking about West Virginia mountain men, that they don't want people coming out on their property. And when people come through, they would put road traps and stuff, and then they would take the people and eat them and do all that. There was The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah, I was going to say that one.
Chainsaw Massacre obviously had a little bit of cannibalism in it.
Do you have Deliverance on there?
I do not.
That's a mountain people. Them.
I don't remember. Yeah, but there was rape and stuff. Was there cannibalism in that? I don't remember.
There wasn't a cannibalism, but it was the hill type people. The guy, like the kid playing the banjo, and they had the people that were like inbred out in the wilderness there.
Here's one I remember as
Piggy.
Here's a movie I remember as a kid. Piggy. I saw this when I was real little. Motel Hell. Did you ever see that?
I know it exists. I've never seen it.
So this couple, they had a motel that they ran a restaurant out of, and people would go in and not check out, and they were disappearing. They had the best sausage in the
okay.
And they were grinding these people up, making sausage links.
That was Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
That was a similar.
So Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which was the first of the massacre series I had ever seen, in that guy was going across the country winning chili cook-offs.
Yes.
Because he would grind up his victims.
McConaughey was in that?
No.
That was 3.
That was either 3 or an even further one before they started doing the reduxes of it. That was by far and away one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. It was so bad.
The Barber of Seville with a meat paws.
Oh,
a meat paw.
That was what was it called?
The Barber of Seville, I think, is the actual one. You're thinking of the one with
Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd.
And the worst movie. They some say this is the worst, like most disgusting movie of all time. It's called Cannibal Holocaust.
Whoa.
I don't know if you ever heard of that one.
They're not leaving much to the imagination there.
It's there's people that even say that they think some of the scenes are real in it. You know,
that's kind of like Faces of Death. They
Yeah,
just put that
yeah.
on.
Those were so great.
Yeah, but Cannibal Holocaust, yeah. So those are some movies, but just goes to show where to get ideas for these movies. Is all this stuff. This story probably came from years and years ago, and they just get ideas from it.
And these stories build as time goes on too, because it started, the albino people, but then the albino people were they shoot rock salt at you. They had guns and they would shoot you with rock salt. They escaped from the circus is another one that they say in the urban legend out there.
Carnies.
Yeah, a bunch of carnies that got out of the carnival and ran up into the mountains.
One other quick point before we move on, I don't want to forget. Maybe we'll cover this down the road. I know our boy Officer Vince sent us a story on the Pig Hill people, and that's a very similar story to this. So, like I said, I think you'll find it no matter where you're at, what region. So,
Any weird county in Pennsylvania that have like people that look a little different, I think they come up with these stories.
oh yeah, right.
You don't have to travel too far.
No,
because you have to the east you got Philly, the west Pittsburgh,
yeah,
and then Pennsylvania. You got Kentucky in the middle.
Yep.
Nothing against Kentucky.
no.
It's a great state.
It is. It's true though. I mean, you're gonna ask. Look, you put 5 attorneys in the same room, you're gonna get 5 different answers.
Right.
This is just a matter of local telephone line. Well, I heard this, and then I heard this from this guy, and then I heard this from this guy who heard it from this guy. Just builds and grows.
Go ahead, Dave.
Oh, so one other thing I forgot to mention too, Bucks County. That's where they filmed that movie Signs. M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan films
every
all of his
movie
movies
yes.
in Bucks.
They're all Bucks County.
Because he's from Bucks County. That's like his thing.
All right.
Every M. Night Shyamalan movie is in around Philadelphia area.
Yeah, it makes sense.
We're going through these urban legends and stuff around the Haycock Mountain there. There's also a covered bridge in that area. And I don't know if any of you guys got this. But you go over the bridge. Here you go. You turn the car off, beep the horn 3 times, turn your headlights on, and there's supposed to be a man hanging there. Because that was part of like the legend. Some man hung himself in Haycock Mountain. So there's supposed to be like his ghost there. Haycock Mountain ghost.
Huh.
To give it a try.
Yeah.
I'm hearing these talks. I remember when you and I, Matt, I'm looking at you. So you and I and your cousin were driving around in either the Prelude or the Blazer, can't remember.
Okay.
But we may or may not have had some lefties on us.
Okay.
And as we're driving off of Rosedale onto whatever road connected us to Riverview.
White House.
Is it White? So is it White House is the one that runs
that's
parallel to 230?
It starts with Stoner Drive.
Stoner, that's right.
Drive, yeah.
Ironically enough.
Ironic.
Yes.
So we turn off of Rosedale onto Stoner, and then Stoner onto Riverview. So while we're on Stoner driving back there, we saw some dude that reminded us. Again, we're all stoned to the bejesus, but I remember seeing the dude that looked like the guy from the Tool video.
Tool video. Yes, I remember that. I recall.
Was scary as
You're
hell.
talking about sober?
Yeah, like,
Correct.
dum, dum, that guy. Like,
Yeah.
We all saw him though, because we didn't say anything to like, dude, that's, and everyone's like the Tool guy, and like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That's ironic. It was from sober.
Yeah.
On Stoner Drive.
Yeah,
It might have been an animal. I don't know. It was very strange though.
Dude, the fact that we all saw it was real goddamn scary, because this was a dude and he was gnarly looking.
That's
Like Zap said, like hopped up on goofballs and all, but
Right.
it was
No face.
No, but we all kind of seen the same thing.
Yep.
And to this day, I think we all.
Is this middle
that
of
is
the night?
crazy.
Dude.
It wasn't even middle of the night. I think it was like more twilighty.
I mean,
right?
it was dark-ish or
Yeah.
dark enough.
Right.
It wasn't. I think it was like twilight. It was early evening. Around we were all in school, so it's probably around this time. Or was
Yeah,
it,
but it could have been late night. We could have been
yeah,
out doing
who knows?
whatever.
Yeah.
But see, that's the cool type shit to get you talking and just get your mind going. You know,
Sure.
it's just exciting. I don't know. I always think those kind of stories and that kind of stuff is like cool because you'll never forget it.
That's
and It's
right.
like, you know,
Well,
but
I
then
think too that.
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
No, like a scary thing too it happened with Zap too. Ironically, at Blanche's house, that time in that freaking closet he has, I'm sure that's like a gateway to hell, dude.
Yeah. I thought at the time it was.
Yeah.
In reality, it's
freaky
just,
shit.
It's just old clothes.
Yeah, it's just old clothes.
What do you mean
but
they lock you in there?
I don't even know what the fuck. Like
You don't even know.
you don't even know. Yeah, like we got locked in this. What's that? Yeah, we got locked in this closet. And like, I think Blanche or his brother was holding it. And like, it's completely dark up there. And it's like 800 degrees. You're in this attic place. But it was just it had like a weird feel to it. It's like dead people in there or something.
I see dead people.
Yes.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Right.
It all comes back to Bucksco.
One last thing on that too. That's the home of Sesame Place, in Bucks County,
Yes.
Langhorne. And I took my kids there when they were real little. Nice park until about an hour, 2 hours in.
Yep.
It smells like piss. Then.
Yep. It does.
Yeah, big time.
I remember being a kid and going to that, and I enjoyed the shit out of it, I'm sure. But I know people that grew up there and now live there and have taken their kids there. They'll never take their kids there again. Like, it's just
One and done.
Just a
That's
terrible
any
park.
water park though.
Yeah, but this one particularly.
I don't
smells-
trust any of it. It's like a big just bath of nastiness.
Yeah.
Except the high spire pool. That was clean.
Hell yeah.
It's a pretty clean pool.
Anyway, that's all I got on
Albino.
the albinos of Ghost Mountain.
Yeah, cool story. So what do we got next? We're going to go into a second one here. I guess.
Yeah, well, what a great segue. So since we're in Bucksco, we're going to head due south and make our way to Fort Mifflin.
Ah,
Oh,
right.
that was freaky.
That's good stuff.
Oh my God. Yeah, so
Paranormal.
Yeah, it was.
That was far from normal. So we're going to make our way south to Fort Mifflin, Pennsylvania. So built in 1681 and functioning as a critical U.S. military post through 1954, Fort Mifflin served its nation well for 273 years through every war the United States had seen from before its inception through World War II.
That's revolutionary. I think
Yep.
that was-
That's
Yeah,
yeah.
it started out there.
Hell, the Indian Wars.
Wow.
We're talking colonial.
You can't say Indian Wars anymore. It's the Native American People Wars.
You can't, but I will.
Is that? Yeah, that's what it's called, right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Whatever, man. You can keep that
it's
PC shit.
It's the Indian Wars.
Yeah.
So, located adjacent to the southeast side of the Philadelphia International Airport, Fort Mifflin has seen everything from defending Philadelphia from the Indians during the colonial settlement to defending ammunition storage and the naval shipyard during World War II. In fact, a portion of the fort still serves as a base of operations for the Army Corps of Engineers to this day. But it isn't the military history or nostalgia in which we're interested today. Today, we're talking about the numerous sightings of ghosts at the fort. Fort Mifflin, in fact, is considered one of the most haunted places in the nation. And considering the amount of death that fort has seen, one can understand why.
Yeah, like a rich history on this. I was reading up on this.
Yeah.
It's like pretty insane.
Dude,
Like,
when you go as far back as the Revolutionary War and even before that, again, built in 1681.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of like one of those things, like the death that has happened there. It's like
Gettysburg. Yeah.
Gettysburg, exactly. You think about all these lives, young lives that were lost. And like, I mean, I believe there's something to a spirit. A spirit has energy. I mean, everybody has energy. Like there's enough energy in a person for like whatever light bulb or something like that. I don't know.
Pure energy. Is this more, are we talking about powder again?
No. Even Powder had some energy though.
Sure enough.
He'd like touch animals and like heal them and shit.
Well, there's those that say that ghost activity and spirits and all that. And when you're in a building or a structure that when like something happens that's traumatic, like the walls almost like record that, almost like an image. You know what I mean? They'll just keep replaying it. And that, I guess when so much stuff happened, like I was reading on this, like it's insane. Like they said here during that the Revolutionary War, you know, when the British were attacking there, over a 1 hour period, there was 1,000 cannonballs fired at that fort.
Yeah, that's in 1 hour. So this is where at one point the British were trying to get supplies to their people upriver, up the Delaware, that were in like Philly proper at the time, right? Because the British had held Philadelphia, and there were ships trying to make their way there to restock. So the rebels, the Americans,
The rebels.
The rebels
were holding on to. They held this fort. They were like, look, we're going to stop these Brits. So they did everything they possibly could. And the Brits were firing back at them just because they wanted to get these supplies up. So, I mean, this lasted for days. And I mean, days upon days. And yeah, one particular hour over the multiple day period, 1,000 cannonballs over the course of 1 hour. Ultimately, There were well over 10,000 cannonballs fired at that fort.
Who cleaned all them up?
You
You ever think about that? Or are they just buried under
guys
there?
get that?
Oh, yeah, I did. Breeders. The breeders.
Yeah. Cannonball.
Yeah.
The breeders.
Yes.
She was in another band too. The girl from the Breeders. I think it was like the Pixies, maybe.
Oh, the Pixies were earlier than the Breeders.
She was in the Pixies.
Was it the
Pixies.
Go-Go's?
She might have been in the Go-Go's.
Was
too.
it the Bengals?
Could have been them too. I think it was the Pixies though. Yeah. But I was saying, like, what do you think happened to all those cannonballs?
So every night while this place was getting bombarded in this particular battle, this Revolutionary War battle, I forget the name of the Frenchman who was there, but he was this guy that was engaged to, because the Rebs had sided with, we had, aligned with the French at that point because the French hated the Brits.
Frances de Fleury.
Could be.
Mm.
I'm no historian, but this guy, each night he would rally all these guys together and say, okay, look,
Clean them up.
clean it up and we got to rebuild these walls.
Oh.
Is this when the British took control, or is this we're
This
still?
is in the process
Okay.
as the British are still fighting and trying
Gotcha.
to
Gain
take
control.
over. Yeah, gain control of this. Each night they would rebuild the walls.
Oh.
It says it was rebuilt in 1798 under orders from then President John Adams.
So again, this is during a battle. I'll
Okay,
use a
I got
different
you, I
word
got
for
you.
your sake. How about refortify?
Okay.
Like build it back up.
Yeah.
Patch the spackle.
Yes.
Some shit like that.
Spackling.
Ultimately, that place was beat to hell. Like it got beat the hell out of it.
Right.
And thus the Brits did end up taking it over. And not before so many of them had either died, which is one of the causations for this,
Ghostly
the enormity
activity.
of Ghost,
The spirit world.
Ghost.
Right.
But there was 40 dudes left, 40. And right before they jetted to another nearby fort, they burned the place down,
Yep. And left the flag up.
left the flag up.
They're like, yeah. And then he headed to Jersey.
Yep.
That's what it said. Yeah.
Still like lifting weights,
Yeah.
Was it
getting good haircuts.
Fort Collins, I think, is over there?
Maybe. Yeah. I think they went to the.
It wasn't Fort Dix. No, it was
Might have
Fort,
been.
I think it was Fort Collins.
should make a movie called like 40.
Fort-
So it'd be like 300. There's like the 40,
40
that were
guys
left.
that were
Yeah.
left. Fort John.
Fort John. I was thinking 40 like just of or having to do with a fort. Oh, hey, look
yeah.
at that building. It's 40.
It's 40.
I
Yeah.
was thinking 40
Fort-ish.
like St. Ides
40.
or Old English.
Could have came from that.
Fun fact. So this place also then during the Civil War, this place served, Fort Mifflin actually served as a prison. So it was, converted. This is where, I should say then at this place, there was one execution, but there were hundreds of deaths brought on just by awful,
Bad conditions.
bad conditions, unsanitary conditions, just awful conditions.
56,000 prisoners died due to unsanitary conditions.
That's the whole ball of wax.
Yes.
There. That's everybody across the whole nation during the Civil War.
Oh, during the
that
Civil War.
time.
Okay.
Not just there.
No,
I was like, damn,
there's
that's a
no
lot.
fucking way.
Throughout,
Jesus.
throughout the war, 56,000 prisoners died due to unsanitary conditions.
Oh, okay. I was like, in that
Zap
prison.
said throughout in that prison.
No wonder it's
Jesus.
so haunted like that. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah.
You'd
Imagine
think
all
they'd
them
figure
bodies.
something out after the first few. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, dude, lot of deaths. A lot of bad things went down at that John.
Yeah. Big time.
I do have a quote from a prisoner about in 1864 describing the conditions at Fort Mifflin.
Yeah. What he said.
It says, the cell at the time is dripping with water from the arch over us. Even the sides are all wet. The soundest old man living could not remain in here without becoming injured in health, much less weakly, as an old man, as many of us are. We have done nothing to deserve such punishment. I thought it'd be more horrible than that, but that really wasn't that bad.
No.
It sounds like a regular prison.
Or any public bathroom, everything's always wet.
That sounds like something. What's the guy's name that does all the document? Ken
Burns.
Ken Burns. That
Yeah.
sounds like a quote Ken Burns would say.
What documentaries he do? I'm trying to think.
He did. Well, he did the Civil War
Yeah,
one. Is
yeah.
by far and away his masterpiece.
Ken Burns.
You would find them on PBS. They would air a lot on
okay.
PBS.
Probably know his voice. I'd have to name
He
it.
did. That was like the cell at the time was dripping wet.
Yeah,
It was coming down the walls.
exactly.
Yeah.
exactly. He did one, I think, relatively recently on baseball.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Ken Burns. Yeah, he did a huge thing on that.
Ken Burns. All right. Well, patrons and paranormal pursuers from all over the planet visit Fort Mifflin. The fort offers open investigation evenings, candlelit ghost tours, family ghost hunts, and even the chance to sleep with the ghosts, where participants may sleep if they dare during an all-night paranormal investigation.
Those ghosts are such sluts.
Yeah.
Sleep with them.
They just
Sleep
give it
with
away.
everybody. My God.
It's like what happened?
There's no dinner, no pork and beef barley.
like Ray Stantz in Ghostbusters. He's just laying in bed, and all of a sudden his belt buckle gets
Starts
undone.
coming undone. Yeah.
So reported ghost sightings and experiences have come in all shapes and sizes. Often reported apparitions include the spirit of the lamplighter, who appears during twilight as a figure on the second floor balcony of the barracks. Countless figures meandering in and out of the casemates in every generation of fashion since the 1600s. The sounds of women screaming or children playing, and even the sight and feel of dogs running past attendees' legs when least expected.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was watching a thing on YouTube that these ghost hunters went there, and they were interviewing a guy, I guess, that does the tours there and stuff. So if you want to go there, you can actually stay there overnight like they were talking about.
You bring a tent.
You bring a tent, it's $75 per person.
These guys are genius.
Yeah. I mean, you're just making money. Like,
Yeah.
but he was saying like, if you stay in like the bunk, you can stay, I guess, in one of the rooms, like the bunk room. Maybe there's paranormal, maybe like the normal public can. I don't know. But paranormal.
I think you're staying in one of the casemates.
Oh, but
I'm
you bring your
almost
own,
positive.
You bring your own stuff, like your own.
Oh, yeah. They're
Yeah.
not supplying you with shit.
Okay.
You stick around long enough, you'll end up like the guy Matt was reading about where you get dripped on all night.
Yeah, you don't want to get
night.
dripped on
But they said that
By
like
It's all
the
dank.
people you're sleeping with.
dank and stinky. People get shaken awake, like in the bunk room at night. You'll be laying there and you'll get like actually, you feel something like
Right.
people like shaking you. And
Something's
stuff.
jarring you to wake up.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's pretty wild. You hear a lot. You talk about those screams and stuff. There's always like a woman screaming, and I guess there's an armory or something nearby that from time to time they'll call the police because they think like a woman's being
Hurt
or something like that. They don't know where it's coming from. I mean, you think after a while you figure out something's going on here, maybe. You know
You
what
would
I mean?
think.
But yeah, there was numerous times the guy was saying that that police get called. Also, there was a blacksmith building there that I guess on the premises there.
That's still there.
Yeah,
They're not blacksmithing now, but
right.
This is now the property.
That's
Yes.
a decent trade, though.
This is
Need
a
to be more black.
Yeah.
noble trade. This
Yes.
is
Right.
this fort is now property of the city of Philadelphia.
they use it for tourism.
100%. Yeah.
So this door, they kept like closing it at night, and they come and it'd be open, close it, and be open. So they're like, all right, we'll nail it shut, screw it shut. So they nailed it and screwed it shut. The next day they went back. The door was ripped off and thrown up on the hill.
Jesus.
So like, there's a lot of weird stuff that goes on.
But most of the stuff at night, I mean, that's the power of suggestion. You're going there wanting to be scared. You read all that. I mean, people aren't going there being like, I'm staying here and not reading all this.
Right.
You know, you're into it before you even get there.
Yeah, you're in the mood.
Yeah, you're in the mood. You want to be scared. You want to get this experience.
That's the idea.
I mean, you're paying
yeah.
70 some bucks. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah. So you think some of it's set up, maybe, or
Not set up. I just think your mind, like the same thing being a kid, like scary movies, or even now, like I said, you watch something where somebody's possessed. I'm looking around for like demons and shit.
yeah. Well,
Like
that's
I'm turning
stuff,
lights
yeah.
on, you know.
I know what you mean.
I just think that this is the idea of you want it so badly.
Mm-hmm.
You want to believe it so badly that you will, in fact, force yourself
Hear
to believe.
something,
Yeah.
and see something. There was a couple online that, I mean, if you look up on YouTube, there's a ton of videos of, like I said, these ghost hunters, and there was like a couple there, and they were in this, one of the most haunted parts was this underground bunker that they created for, I guess, if they were getting attacked. It's like the room's kind of like
That's a casemate.
a casemate.
Yeah.
There it is.
It's domed at the top and it's flat on the bottom.
Right.
Yep.
Not like a trapper keeper.
Nope. No, or the thing in which your mobile device is typically kept.
Casemate.
A casemate.
That is a brand of phone protector.
But they were in there like filming, and they were like, if you're here, you know, all that shit, show yourself, like give us a sign and all that. And they have these cameras set up, and there's like bunks there, and the one piece of wood flips down, and you can see in the film like a shadow.
Okay.
So there's people that are like, oh, that's staged. Is it? Is it not? You know what I mean? That's the kind of stuff.
Probably is.
And I've seen pictures where, that was another thing they said. Like they'll have these tours that go through there, and these people when they're done with the tours will go, "Hey, that Revolutionary War reenactor guy was great. That gave us that." They're like, "We don't have anybody there like this."
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, while people are taking a tour, somebody else is talking to them, or they're hearing voices of someone telling them a story of some shit that would have went down there hundreds of years ago.
Right.
And that's just some ghost, bro.
Or they're saying like in Gettysburg, you see like people walking through the field. They're like, "Oh, hey, are those guys doing a thing out there?" And they're like, "What are you talking about? There's nobody out there." Who knows?
I see a skeptic among us.
Not I, said the Matt. Did you guys read about the legend of the Faceless Man? That's supposed to be like a big thing out there.
And out here at Fort Mifflin.
In Fort Mifflin. Yeah.
I didn't hear about that one.
That's the legend of the Faceless Man. They said that's the most infamous ghost in Mifflin, called the Faceless Man. Visitors spot this apparition roaming throughout the property in the Civil War attire.
There is a spirit there. I guess they said the one tour guy said he's partial to blonde females. So if you're in there and you got blonde hair and you're a female, it'll stroke your hair, like brush by you, brush up.
It's
on
just
you
some
and stuff
pervert like
that.
living in the city
It
there.
was some Revolutionary War pervert that had a thing for blondes, I guess.
This dude dressed up in Revolutionary. It's like it's a ghost.
Yeah.
See if you get away with it.
Some dude running in with a sheet.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, you could get away with some shit. Just talking that old English.
Oh, God.
Not assault. I'm a ghost.
Yeah.
Why is this ghost talking to me while he's stroking my hair?
That's one way to pick up chicks, I guess.
Yeah.
Pretend you're a ghost, but you can ghost them the next day.
Ooh.
What a good one.
But yeah, it's crazy. What else you guys got on this? Anything else we missed?
I got nothing on this other than I see commercials or like Facebook advertisements for stuff that's going on, haunting stuff, and especially as we're coming here soon into the fall, that this is really going to start ramping up.
Oh, big time, yeah.
There's so much that occurs here in Pennsylvania that you can go see and do. That they don't really do much of anything like this.
Fort Mifflin.
Thank you.
Fort
Sorry,
Mifflin.
stroked out. Fort Mifflin. This goes on every day, all year long. It doesn't matter. Like this would be cool to do, man. I think this would be fun.
Yeah.
There's a Philly area. They have the state penitentiary has a ghost tour.
Eastern State, yeah.
Like you said, around here, Gettysburg has a ghost thing. Here they do. In Lancaster, I think there's a ghost tour.
My brother did him and his wife, I think, did Eastern State. They stayed overnight. I'm pretty sure that's where they went. My brother's way into that stuff, and my sister-in-law. I'm into it. I don't know that I'd, spend money like that and go do it. Plus, like, part of me likes it, but part of me doesn't want to. I really wouldn't want to experience anything. You know what I mean? I feel
You're saying like, shit, what if it is real?
and what if it follows you? You know what I'm saying?
I know the
know.
Eastern State Penitentiary has one of the best haunted house experiences, they say, in the East. I know you have to sign like a waiver. They're allowed to touch. I don't think they can hurt you or anything like that. But I know you got to be 13 and over or 16 and over to get into there. They have like non-scary nights for kids under 13, but then the regular is, I heard some deep shit.
I mean, you want to see some scary shit. I can take you some places that are pretty scary,
What, in Harrisburg?
yeah, like some neighborhoods and stuff. You really want to be scared?
Here, the easiest way to be scared. You jump in your car, you drive to Hall Manor, roll your windows down and start playing Sweet Home Alabama.
Right.
Yeah. You'll be scared.
Or just go around asking
I should
for
do
8
that.
balls.
We should do that for like Halloween tours. and
Sure.
stuff.
Yeah.
Take people.
Take people? Here, put your window down. Put your window down, okay? I want you to say...
No window, just get a wagon. Like a hay wagon, you know what I mean?
Hey, rides.
Like hay rides through the hood.
Hey, rides through the hood.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh,
That'd
right
be
there.
awesome.
That
I
would
was
be
thinking about the haunted Amish, but okay. Hayride through the hood is far superior.
Haunted Amish.
Well, you said
Cool.
something was going down in Lancaster.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, they have the ghost tours and stuff there in Lancaster all the time.
Where
don't know if
there's,
Through the Amish town, but I don't think so.
there's a lot of that haunted stuff around there. There's that Ray Myers Hollow. We did that story down in York. I mean, there's a lot of places that have history. I mean, that
That's all it is. It's old history, and then all of a sudden, old history becomes haunted.
Yep. Just stir it up.
Yep. Is there anything like, I was trying to think, like, I know we have the Blue-Eyed Six in Lebanon, but in Harrisburg, let's say, or Middletown, or, you're from Highspire or Steelton, any of these areas, even on the West Shore, like places that are haunted, you can think of that are like real close, that have history like that, have you ever
3 Mile Island.
I got nothing.
3 Mile. Yeah, 3 Mile.
3 Mile Island might have something cool in there. Who knows?
So I'm thinking about that. And if there was something, we would have known about it growing up. Like, we would have absolutely known about it.
Well, there's like legends. Like, let's say, for instance, there was a legend of the Lady Edna. You ever hear about that one by Vodtech? So there's a vocational school here nearby.
On Union Deposit?
Yeah. So they're now, which is now
Locust Lane.
Locust Lane area. So this is in Harrisburg for our listeners that aren't from around here, like suburban Harrisburg area. Now it's developed back there. There's a whole neighborhood called Union Square.
Yep.
And it's new houses and stuff. But at one time there was a few houses back there. If you would take your car back there at night, there was a house that was empty.
Yep.
There was always a light on up at the
That's on Fairmont Drive. I drove by that. So friend of the show, by the way, huge fan of the show. Big shout out to Al Doc.
Oh, Doc. Yeah, what's up, Doc?
Al Doc used to live not but spitting distance from that house.
Yeah, I
Was
was
that
at
the house that
she would come out and chase you?
Yeah,
Shit,
but that's
yeah.
the house that we fell in through
No, that house.
What house was
by,
that?
By the high school.
That was a haunted house too. There was some lady in there that was supposed to be
When
that
we
her
were
family
kids,
died.
every abandoned house was a haunted house.
True.
That a lady was
True.
in,
Yeah.
But this one in particular, though, you would drive your car. If you went slow enough, a pair of headlights would pop on at the house at the far end of the road and would chase you. And it happened to me.
Yep.
So I think the lady was just tired of kids. Like, she was probably just an old lady with nothing to do. And she's like, I'm tired of these kids going by this house. And I'm just going to chase you and stuff. But there's that type stuff, you know what I mean? That like legends and stuff, like the urban legends and all that. But I was just trying to think if there's anything in our area that's like got real history to it. You know, I can't really think of anything. But
no.
Yeah.
Was Office haunted after he got shot?
It might have been. I know I opened his closet door one time, ironing board fell on my head.
Nice.
But
Nice.
yeah.
An apple rolls out.
Yeah.
Well, didn't he say he was walking around with a towel? He's like, "Oh, what are you doing here so early?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are just urban legends.
Urban legends.
There was that. He was there late at night and got shot. Shot at. Yeah.
But was that true? That was true, wasn't it? Or we don't know. They said he was listening to headphones, and that's what deflected the bullet.
Bullet.
I don't know.
It's amazing how kids can make this story so far embellished.
The magic bullet theory. Yeah.
Arlen Specter.
Yeah.
He worked for Kennedy.
They said they went up to one tower, but he was in the other tower at the same time. It's like, how does that
This
happen?
is Ghost. It's like Loki.
Yeah.
I would make that. That'd be a cool little apartment. If you're like a homeless dude who's ever living up there, it's a nice place.
Jesus.
Yeah, it wouldn't be bad. Well, there might be people now.
I'm pretty sure there's people up there living.
Yeah. Yeah.
We should drive by there tonight. There might be a light.
We could go up there at night. That'd be cool to film. You know what I mean?
Bring a gat, a couple
so-
ratchets.
So I forever carry a gun, but I will, in this case, also try to wear some Kevlar.
Yeah.
Smart, in case you get stabbed.
But no, man, those were two. In case you get stabbed.
Yeah. In case I get stabbed. No, in case I get shot.
Nah, you're not gonna get shot if they don't got no guns. Homeless people don't carry guns.
No, you got to go through the bad guys to get to the homeless
I
guys.
was gonna say, once you get to the homeless, they got like little shivs that they make out of like pieces of whatever they found around McDevitt.
Ram you with a shopping cart. Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
pin you up against the wall.
Yep.
Stub your toe, you're like, and you're down.
They throw their slippers at you.
That can happen too. But yeah, cool story. I mean, those are both cool stories. Yeah, I like this PA stuff. Like I said, there's not much around our area. It seems like all around us are these like cool, like all this history and all these cool stories and stuff. That's why I know there was a story up in Duncannon about, but that turned out not to be true. I wanted to look that one up. There was an old a hotel or like a bar or tavern hotel supposedly was haunted and this and that, but it turned out to be nothing.
A lot of those places, I think, are just drug addicts that like are these cheap hotels are like, oh, stay at this place. It's old and historic, but I just think there's like just people outside late at night trying to get a warm place to sleep.
This place got burnt down, then someone went in and burned it down. But when we first started the podcast, somebody had sent me that to actually do a story on it. And when I went to dig into it, I found out that there wasn't really much behind it. It was kind of like just like an urban legend, basically.
Wasn't there a haunted house at McDevitt last year? Was that a thing?
That's what we covered. Yeah, the unholy schoolhouse.
That was a thing that did happen.
Okay.
So when Dave and I rolled out and did a little video expose at McDevitt, the old McDevitt, there was still signs. So understand that McDevitt, once it was desanctified, which is anytime the Catholic Church sells a religious John to somebody who's not religious. Yeah. So they desanctify it. Now we don't give a shit what you do with the property. It has since changed hands. I want to say 2, possibly 3 times. So whoever was the owner of the property at that time, this time last year, could still be the same owner. They turned it into just a free-for-all walkthrough, haunted. There's like, mummy nuns or undead nuns or this, that, and the other thing.
Pure sacrilege.
Dude, it's sacrilegious.
There's that 3 times again.
Dude, I was upset by that, and I still remain upset by that. That's a shitty thing to do.
Yeah, it does seem like, you know what I mean? I mean, my old grade school, they just sold. Maybe they'll do something up there like that. You know what I mean? Turn it into, maybe like taking it, turn it into like a strip club or something. You know what I mean? Like just.
That'd be cool.
Well, yeah. Nah, I mean, you know what I'm saying, though, but it's just.
Once you like something like with our high school, we all see what's happening to that place, and it hurts. It's like, it kind of sucks.
I mean, just when something was what it was, when it turns, you know what I mean?
My grade school's going strong, though.
Yeah, it is doing well.
Yeah, my
enrollment's up.
Well.
It is. It's like, what's that movie? Gross Point Blank, when John Cusack's character returns to his childhood home, and it's now a Quickie Mart. Yeah. It's a 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Hey, guys, can you wrap it up?
Oh, I guess it's about that time.
Perfect timing.
It's getting late.
It's getting scary in here, so.
It is.
Yeah, I got to go to bed soon. So I'm having nightmares now.
Oh, no.
Now, listen, if somebody's compelling you to and rolling you to wake up, it's your wife.
Yeah.
I thought it would be the power of Christ compelling me.
Could be.
It might be. Yeah, so no albinos tonight, hopefully. Albino Cannibals.
Yeah.
Don't want
Who
any
eat
of that.
people. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no Fort Mifflin ghost, any of that stuff. Yeah, but those are cool stories.
Yeah, man.
We'll move on to the next 2 chapters or so of Weird Pennsylvania. We've been pulling stories out of there.
So are we giving a double barrel every week? Like we're giving like the 2 stories? We're going to try
all depends. There's only so much you can research and so much you can do.
Yes.
Tonight, I like to think that the fans got a double play.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
For the double play for the price of one.
Yeah.
Which is free. So, everybody won tonight.
We doubled down on Weird PA.
Places like, so when we covered Centralia, that's a big one.
Yes.
That's going to take some time. But these 2, easy.
We're looking forward to visiting, I think. Some of these places, I think, if we're on our way, like take a day and maybe stop at a couple and check them out.
That's the plan, is to drum up interest in the podcast by putting more video content out. Well, what video content would be compelling is like stuff we're covering. So even though the podcast might already be out and you might be coming back revisiting this, we can always go after the fact and record something.
I'm hearing a lot of segue here. So revisiting us and content did something recently happen with our podcast channels?
Yeah. So you talking about the Vintage Cinema?
I'm talking about all of it.
Yeah. So we had the Vintage Cinema like kind of off on its own, and we did a little experiment to see, but come to the conclusion with some feedback and talking to people that it's just easier to have Old Dirty Basement as the home for everything we're doing, all the content.
It's the all brand. Things dirty.
Yeah, it is our brand. Old Dirty Basement's what people know, and we'll just keep the movie reviews here. So as of today, they're back.
Yep. Everybody's back under one roof.
Yeah.
All under the ODB.
Right.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah, I was just thinking about, too, like the event coming up we're going to down in Anvil at the Allen Theater.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be down there as Old Dirty Basement doing a Vintage Cinema review, obviously. But these people that are there, how are we going to find this? That's Old Dirty Basement. You got to go to Vintage Cinema. Like, it just gets confusing. And I think keeping it all under one umbrella, it's just going to be, it is what it is.
That'll be the movie Miracle, correct?
Miracle.
About the U.S. Olympic team winning the gold medal.
Did they?
Over the Ruskies.
We don't want to ruin the...
that's like...
Jesus, man.
You foreshadowed.
Did anybody see Titanic? I don't want to go too far.
Right. I thought that'd be funny when we do that movie that, like we're during the intermission, we're going to do a Q&A and just kind of play it like, I wonder what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Think they'll win? Think they'll pull it out?
It's going to be a close game.
Keep it in suspense.
Yeah. Nice.
But anyway, so we'll definitely be back next week with some more stories out of PA. And,
cool. Liking it.
Definitely give us feedback. Hope you enjoy what we're doing. You guys got anything else in closing?
I got nothing. We got to get out of here before the wife comes down and kicks us out.
Yeah. It's so late in the evening. It's all dark and
She'll be
sleepy.
haunting me here.
That's right.
Yeah, so don't forget to find us on Facebook and Instagram at Old Dirty Basement, on TikTok at Old Dirty Basement Podcast. Thanks to Zap. Thanks to Matt. I guess that's it for now. So we'll catch you where?
On the flip side.
If we don't see you sooner, we'll see you later.
Peace. Thanks for hanging out in the Old Dirty Basement. If you dig our theme music like we do, check out the Tsunami Experiment. Find them on Facebook. Their music is available streaming on Spotify and Apple, and where great music is available.
You can find us at Old Dirty Basement on Facebook and Instagram, and at Old Dirty Basement Podcast on TikTok.
Peace.
We Audi 5000.